Madam, His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, Namiadom or Modim, a Juma Seni Esway. Nano, now tree I train me. Na Onegana for MPP for a war. We are see a Fanania Kushia or South Africa.
Okay.
Any Omodim Komo. Ubidri Inso and Nanopa. One student, one laptop initiative, no. Okobo president
laptop and a tablet. One student, one tablet.
Yeah, one student, one tablet.
Okay.
Okobo president Chidom a conference center. Emma ne among launch initiative. It's all under what we call the Ghana Smart School Initiative. Na metu me boache chimokaka. Na and then me no kase sisi so one Sima. Is it Sima or
chartered?
No, the informal sector.
Oh, okay.
The informal sector. One omushia na mamempe edino ma the actual full name.
And why you look for it? We say Obi. Good afternoon. Ghanaians know the difference between the NPP and the NDC. The NPP develops the country while the NDC comes to destroy. My question today is: are we good to sit down? Are we going to sit down for the NDC to come back and destroy our country? Okay, that's Master Planner Junior working Tampo. We say Obi. Good afternoon. Please don't. Okay. Let me see. We say Richard Wamasaman, and Richard says, Obi, good afternoon to you. Have a blessed working week. Please be informed that henceforth the NDC serial callers and texters will be known and called communication support officers. Wow. Honorable Ashimo, Greater Accra chairman of the NDC, you really know road. And incoming Amasaman NP, Honorable Sedem Afenyo, have a blessed working week. The 24-hour economy is truly a game changer. Support it and vote for JDM on December 7th. Richard Wamas and DNA serial callers of the NDC and texters now are known as communication support officers. That's one there coming through. Yada say.
Yes. Okay. Council of the Indigenous Business Association.
Okay.
Council of the Indigenous Business Association.
That should be like SIBA.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, SIBA. Now it comprises of Ghana National Association of Garages, Ghana Bar Operators Association, Market Traders, Ghana Traditional Caterers, Ghana Cooperative Butchers Association, Ghana National Association of Traditional Healers, Ghana Hairdressers and Beauticians, National Drinking Bar Operators, National Association of Beauticians and Hairdressers, Federation of Ghana Goldsmith and Jewelers, Ghana Electronics Serving Technicians Association, Ghana Association of Barbers and Barbering Saloons, Ghana National Tailors and Dressmakers, and National Refrigerators and Air Conditioning Workshop Associations.
Okay.
Usually made up of they are organized groups, but businesses formalized.
Yes.
So they operate mostly in the informal space. Because the question is, must they remain informal forever? Adena yenyana oye no. Yenyana oye air conditioning no. Yenyana oye baba no. Yenyana oye butcher no. Adena no de yentimi M1 na adwuma na oye no. Brofo kasem yen formalizing mfan raban mu na mwa bia se aban ehu adwuma no ehu nipa adwuma no ye ne dia ehu ba bia oye na adwuma na mwa bia se aban de boa sa nipa no de boa no na se ye budgeta ye betimi aka se sa nipa kuyi sa adwuma ekuyi aban sika wode so mo nso masene ni efi se mo nso mutua to enti support bi enti wo hwa bi mu raise question say sometimes the omu here ampo ne say yenuanom omo ye condition ne say okay yenim de na bro so ebianka ban betimi aboa na private companies crash set up assembly plant for air conditions in Ghana. So what I say.
Yeah.
So yenya you was saying him in addition to say yeah fix way no you other jobs to do, get professional education. But here constant education of modern servicing.
Yes.
And no common no mokudi. How do we bring them on board? How do we make sure so almost you formalized? Almost nkrata some of the baby mojuma bibia banititiru. Ye mani nye hunyan. Because Ghana ha na to de bia ye bibia se de kwa ban mu a ne amana ye hunyan. Ye ya de pa no. Na ne ye na be ye din ma afi no adepa no enwie mu peye enti saa ne ma ni nyina kwan be ne be fa so a be ye ne yie ne asane sane mu na de education wosro de education wo form kakra obia timi aba on board because obi me no mi no ye wo the formalized sector no
yes
ye na de bia no aban e de to e be hye yenkon efi se ye na aban ne nim yen
sure
obi yen fa ne se obi tonsuo wo kwan ho sa nipa no oye Ghana ni a oman no eda na koma so obi e carpenter oye Ghana ni oman no eda na koma so enti se wo ma na kwanya na se wonim se bosome metua even 10 cedis e de ama Ghana aban ti afini nyina metua 100 cedis. That informal sector no we are looking at over there say 3 million people. So just imagine say 3 million people na obi etua 100 cedis say assuming po for the whole year the taxes or they bo aban. Who dey your math na me billions of cedis.
That's true.
Billions. Say nipa no oyo mamba pa o man da na koma so. De ono ne hwehwe ne se ono so betimi aboa ma o man na koyi. Enkoye se ye de eto nyina begu no kon so se afi no ntua bi a 10,000. Ba se Ghana ba ka kire ne se unu etua bi ntu nso tua 100 cedis ka ho a. Obi me ka kire o se Ghana fo de ahokeka ne opepa betua no wo yem behyew. Enuanu mo wo tipton lane ne ade nyina omo wo kwan omo fa so tua omo to enuanu mo a omo gina kwan ho tonton mo niema se aban no de omo ba on stream.
Yes.
Na aban no se munsumun tua kakra they will all pay. Na yenso a ye wo formal sector no ye kon mo ayeden ahin because they say se wo fa the formal sector now until Ghana card buy ya link it to or 10 number no only 4% of Ghanaians and I know what GRE systems so now
no before that I didn't know.
Yes, only 4% because omo constitute the omo timi tua omo taxes and omo eso mu tua just 4%, but because say you did Ghana card na link it to or 10 number no say omo betimi atua no omo ye qualified no about 81% have come on stream. But what did they make?
Yes,
81%. Enti ano na ye ka say wotimi simplify the tax system. Na me a me ton nsuo wo kwan ho se metimi afa and sabe am I ain't getting confused. Ye nuanu mo awon nam kwan ho tonton ne bebre aben.
Yeah.
Bebre very very educated. Abrabuntra. Enti se ye nuanu fa no phone na obetimi aye simple tax filing.
Yes.
Ain't taking more than 5 minutes because born Ghana card number maybe our boy adwuma oye maybe our bo amount afibia otua na calculator na calculate say afibia no say utimi nya 10,000 cedis a ebia oye info oye that low income person o tax ye 3% a calculate 3% amano or the minimum otua because ye were interoperability to ye na app na busa or the minimum enti afini nyina no so pese otwa no bosome kra na bosome watwa ne 10 cedis ebeboa o man no enu nti na yewura ene o mu hia ne se munso ekwan be na aban no befa so aboa mu na modwuma mo ye no atimi awie mu die na motimi apagya modwuma na mo so aboa o man ne nkan kɔ ne yie die se ne be ya ye nyina de pese o man no baby edru no o man na timi ayede edru ti eno ho nkomo no no mu kodi kwan be na ebetimi afa so abo o madwuma ama o madwuma so akoso no matimi afa Ghana fo mabunu ne mrantie bibre ne maba wa bibre so etimi aka ho.
And I believe say in line with the meeting with identifiable bodies,
groups,
right?
Yes. Last week, Oshia, Ghana Chamber of Traders and Industries.
Yeah. Commerce and Industry. Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Yeah.
And I know Oshia Council of
Sibafor.
And Tinyame ya adomo e chenanso obetwa so e wosunyane. One some traders ne magazine for be so wosunyane be share. E beto akoso any different groupings e share. Na ye ne omadi nkomo. Titiru. Papa no nim ne oye. Ono wotenanse ya. Na wa fa ne notebook. Asem bia ni ho a wobeka on taking note. Edin bia ni ho a wobeba on taking note. It will be jina ho na okasa. Okasa se obi a wote asem na se because de wo ka no eho hia no. Emra na me ye me masters. Ade ba ko mo kire ne se when you are listening, listen to listen. When you are listening, listen to listen. Because obi betimi atie o so no ntie o.
Yeah.
Because the person is not listening to understand. They are listening just to listen. His Excellency, when he's listening to understand. He's listening to listen and understand what you are saying. Send ye beya on also the nanu di sem to dwa. The obeka no ababe wom ebeto asomu na wonso anya re chichire sem se o mampanyin abedi akire watie wasem na obetimi aye ho bibi e de ama. Nti sa pepepe enete obi yesi formal no adwuma no start no.
Okay, very well. Into Kofi Tonto ne yete nka political aid to the Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, who happens to be the NPP's flag bearer for the 2024 elections. Yes.
But you know about Bompire.
As in Meba Studio.
Sorry, Obom.
No, me sorry, be a Bompire.
Sir.
Yes.
Obama.
The bomber me home. Ebobi ma me busu.
No ma.
Me bobi ma me my Ghana.
Obobi ma John Mahama.
Me bomber on mine ma choose specific leaders be a
Bompire ma John Mahama.
Aden.
Oh, now when and someone when video na kwa wanting.
No, na se papa na be pacho na de hu cheopa. Hu cheopa no.
Tina me say Bompire bobi ma no.
Oh no, na se papa na be pacho.
Oh, that be meti ase so
papa. Oh, man for na misinterpreting some o kan.
No, one can call for misinterpreting or reading ye.
Ne apology no.
What read apology?
I've read it out.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So I say assembly the kind.
On car say one. But say it.
Now
that's
what
not what he meant.
Okay. What did he mean?
That was what kind of apology.
That one now read here, one now hear law until there was he saying. Who now read here? When I also hear law until the kind of mean say.
Or no say I sincerely regret the wrong impression that my comment has created.
So, indeed, comment created wrong impression. Does that mean somebody has wrongfully misinterpreted you?
Indeed, it was not my intention.
Exactly.
And never will it be my intention to pray that John Mahama does not serve his full 4-year term when he wins the 2024 election.
And you've been a misinterpreting, no?
I concede that I misspoke on the occasion.
Exactly.
I accept the criticisms in good faith, even though some of the criticisms arise out of a deliberate misrepresentation of my statement. That's more kind of.
I say, I misspoke.
Yes.
If you
and I accept the criticism,
and you accept that,
even though some of the criticisms no deliberate to misrepresent in some kind.
No. Who have video ni?
Oh, I've watched it.
Na ma maybe wo video ni. Ne kasa ne ba mu e passe.
Yes.
Also, but don't wish death on him. Who play video ni bio? In the video, there was a lady there. Was it? Oh, but don't wish death on him. So how is it that Obi Otinchen and misinterpreting? Even in the video, the people sitting there, somebody said it. Oh, but don't wish death on him. Play the video again and listen. Nanka yesa den na edebio na obeka was say ye ma me Jane ebe kasa no se den.
Ono ka se Mahama would win and he would serve his full 4-year term.
Yeah, Mammy Jane so misinterpreti. Yeah, Papa, I could see away. Yeah, Mammy Jane so misinterpretino. Do you get what I'm saying? One more pono. Immediately saw some no awakayano. And tell you into a mukrano and make key shots on back correct too. One says, but don't wish death on him. The awakaya nanka obetimi a beneficiary credit dimrika babeka say no. So what is your papa Kwesi Ahoy talking about? As a major if you really see press statement, we really see it. What is he talking about? Who misinterpreted what? On the really see on the wall first.
Send it so on your part to come. Be papa na statement. Papa nensa ne shase.
Papa nensa, okay, sure.
Ask nipa or tro e
dey. The born war, mate.
Oh, na confirm mo hwan wo. Papa na ne tro.
Anyways, on a more serious note. Yes. Yeah, bompire. Yeah, mobi mayura John Dramani Mahama. And impanyufo a wonu mayi o manim se omoye politics. Agro no ehu. Inti ye bompire ye mobi ema.
Mamintie lawyer Chumema na kwa bana fe. I'll come and then we'll discuss the Smart Schools project so they launch one student, one tablet, because the minority has issued a statement and it's signed by the ranking member for the Education Committee in Parliament, the Honourable Dr. Clement Apak, MP for Bilsa South, or a deputy ranking member. It's a very, very interesting statement.
Clement Apak,
Clement Apak, sure.
Okay.
And you know, say one tablet turned into tablets for only some students. You say, are there more hoodwinky, unsuspecting Ghanaians? Even though promises a mobile student, we are some watching Kwalabe 100 been a map one be a show Monsanamo, my as a one student when he will come back and then Mamma lawyer Kwaba, lawyer Chum Berema, counsel Bibi Aboko dear. Vimo
oh, Yamitas.
Sir, Bibi Abe fine.
Sure. So somewhere.
Yamiatum.
Good.
Free 2025 January, no? Ghana would. We'll start building the Ghana we want, wrong?
Definitely. You see a new president, and the first time having a female as vice president.
Vice president.
Certainly shall come to pass.
It is possible.
Nothing will change that. Maybe say na working kind with text messages in terms of brand TV so will be so. And they will text about the energy minister and his arrogance.
Oh, that be
oh, okay. Maybe I won't pay attention to you. Read it.
Ono ka say what is energy minister? Ka say there will be no low shedding time. But say Omra Pachawanka. Well, you so arrogance. I remember the message I read.
But let me come message the actual some kind of Ankasa.
And I don't know who messages.
Not message. Not even message now. Really.
Can what the minister
exactly.
Said. Okay.
Exactly. Not who message now.
Okay, very well.
I don't want who audio na
video no has been shared by TV3 or Instagram platforms, so you can check it from there.
The video of the energy minister. Yeah. Now the almost energy minister can
Bobby.
Yes.
Moncroft we be and the kubusa no say yes Dumsaba. So I'm meaning program kon was but I think be Kumasi.
Yeah, I think this weekend the campaign, the inaugurating the Ashanti region campaign team.
Very well.
Yeah, quite almost launch a campaign team.
Okay, so this is the video. I've just opened the video here.
Oh, now you wait to me,
no, I've seen.
I'm not playing it. No, maybe anything about loud. I'm not playing the video here. Hold on.
Mate. No, I think I have it here. It's been sent to me. It's been sent to me.
I'm not playing it, but just before maybe
I get it. I'll forward it to them now.
Yeah, makes sense. The audio. Malone cry.
That's fine.
But
that's fine.
Over caption at TV3 for the man. Was say Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh says those calling for load shedding timetable should release one themselves.
That's the report.
He said that in the video. Okay. He was pushing him on Dumso, and that people are calling for timetables, ECG or others, in release timetable. And he made a statement emphatically on that point. He said, Omwa air request me to release one. The question is, those requesting for Doomson should release the timetable. How is that possible? People want to know why these things are happening. Family to timetables, I mean, who can be doing last Friday, I was going for a program. Obi, from Adenta all the way to Kwabenya ACP, there was no light. I was driving through that enclave. Throughout that line, there wasn't a single light throughout to Kwabenya ACP area, close to the new interchange. And then people are calling for distance. The light didn't come out until the next morning. And it's not like say minimum one word to enclave na my boss you say can you get it? And he said if you are met by media men who more or less are the mouthpiece of the ordinary Ghanaian. Now when we say timetable once we say one more iPad no and go for me. That is a sign of arrogance, to my opinion. Young Kasasa, you are there to serve the people. The be wasn't be able to say politics will be a number of years. Nippant near you. The Nippant knew I said, you know. You benya which office, you ba occupy which portfolio. Nina Jina Nipanoso. A Nipanoa. I won't mind Muno and the number of Suma Yeni Payo. You are you 2024, yeah, 10 pension. Let Ghanaians decide say they will not vote for anybody. Never say 2027 January and you been not going to you Nubia. Let Ghanaians decide say one that easy for one boxes inclusive on this year. Nobody will come out to vote. Not gonna phone decide and never say you be a friend say energy minister. There will be nobody. So we as politicians, young kind who say, Ambrase idea we about. Ambrase idea we about. So we get to say nipa na ma we nipa dia. You will be careful. You will be careful when you are making such utterances.
Yes.
Especially in public and in your capacity as an energy minister. And yet my muhuni bi and ne sabi ni ebusa na sa asem no. And yet PR bi ni ebusa na sa asem no. And then director being names and the minister himself and Nebusano. But if you look at his demeanor, that's also video demeanor and the way he was responding to the questions and the kind of comments he passed. Commenting about a caption and activity for a caption. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. Me a politician, I'm doing politics, but I think arrogance should not be part and parcel of us. Arrogance should not be part and parcel of us. What number one thing I try here, anybody but and sometimes, we try to want to manipulate but these are the people that will want some bar on push out the casa form. Be an audio feed and be an Canadian and would you know. But majority of team phone fee you do unannounced. A ba na ko. Who feed ya say that is why people are calling for this time to say I better prepare nipa na join ni bibia say more cost to me ya means me position me who say this because now no me video bi akumasi adum now people are now using generators on the streets.
But is it not because unannounced the banner continue won't mean follow shedding timetable man.
Na say with me can ye say nipa na mu say be half mo boko that's my catch us Friday anacho. Mama straight be from Adenta Madina Atomic Junction say kwan na kopiem wo ACP kwabenya no. Na woni nyina was dark. Hachu ni ma hwan ni nyina was dark.
And no da ben no.
Friday as na catch Friday nyimre. Okay, so now bibi sa be koso a ana say enclave nim say yen high there so say that Friday and American and we could try we nyina kan ya bedimu who complain about it. Nobody will complain because they know that the schedule they don't madiachi because some of them madiachi so them madiachi I was driving there, me be am ko me chair. Me kwa sorry into me chair akra and me by the next morning around by 5 me be seeing and the light was not back.
Asempa FM.
Okay? So say ya nya ho brase wo ye ne yemu obi. Ne ye ma hantan ne se bi tafra se dwe e hye ma. Every ngosi ba bia. So I'm not surprised that the one who texted you was saying said he should come back and apologize to Ghanaians. He should come back and apologize. Because I never feel a question neighbors out. A Ghana for one day question neighbors and I wasn't at what to answer. So when you and you don't need to speak to us in an odd manner. No.
Mate Council, Medase Papa Atik Mohammed Atnase Ewo Studio ha ono Penya Oda Mass Action for Sustainable Development in Africa. You train it your friend Mazda ono neda won ano. Enti mema na kwa badafe yahwe atoa enkomo so but you know say some of the big stories we are dealing with and then the launch of the smart school project and a course so and matters arising. Of course the minority is out with a statement. Kwesi Ahoy also apologizes to Mahama on his anything can happen comment. One of the issues go yapono so GRA for so any one issues with the Vice President of the Republic Ninyina and Samoa igu apono so but I think my microphone so na fe yenhwe eni enkomo akwaba na etesen
obi meju so na nyame adom na we
nyame adom bibia boko nyame adom
Republic of Gamaga for so nyina chia
ejomoso pa ejomoso
just quickly before I be chasing even though it's our latest edition there nenka nyoma na yebeka ho asem but media there are two most important issues are one moody sending and I would want to focus on. Maybe the rest may choose or elect to speak to.
Okay.
Yeah, or they can. But just quickly on what Honorable Napo is alleged to have said.
Have you watched the video?
I haven't. I just read, I think, transcript, if you wish. I think when you are in crisis, already people are on the edge. Until something that ordinarily is the truth. People might take it the wrong way.
Yes.
Because I really don't see why people are demanding a timetable. Look, our crisis more. The call should be to fix the problem. If you're asking say timetable, you are attempting to normalize the problem. I don't want to continue being in Dumso. I want it fixed. Until I would never call for any timetable. Timetable. Not just the waja tumzadi and then be fix it. There is no we can't normalize Dumso at this point. What I say. Until those who are increasingly demanding timetable to what end? Yeah, the timetable is that what is going to fix the problem? We should be demanding that the problem be fixed. And Omunjai ECG coming to say and yet Dumso net Omunjin tum say Dumso and tell us how it is going to be fixed. What you say, but the demand and the call for you can say timetable. No, I think is
when
immature.
You admit say a doomswa. The doomswa we have come to know a load shedding. When you admit,
no, you keep saying this, and I keep disputing.
Hold on. If because how can someone say you doomswa? What do you mean? A doomswa being?
No, Dumso any more type. I don't say one more type. Dumso say your light comes and goes off.
But who said there was a timer? Said na lawyer aircam.
This is an attempt. I disagree with that definition of Dumso. Osi Dumso means load shedding, and I disagree.
But that's what we came to know as Dumso.
No, that's what you. I didn't come to know it as Dumso.
But what was happening when you were told from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Who can you be doing? The following morning now what the Abba no being the what was it?
We got to an extreme point of Dumso, and that is where we needed an intervention, and they brought load shedding. But load shedding is not Dumso. Dumso is the cause.
Erratic power supply.
What you say? Okay. As for the effect, I mean, one of the solutions was to do load shedding. So you can't equate the cause, which is the problem, to the solution. They are two different things.
No, I disagree with you, but you
just as I disagree with you. What am I saying? And the load shedding was just one of the mechanisms to deal with the erratic power supply and the intermittent outages. So that you are clear. Say, because a bit more now or mutimi that doom no more for a longer time. So that you even saw crisis, there had to be the arrangement for doom so, but doom for load shedding, but load shedding is not doom so. My point is doom so we've got to that point.
Okay.
And I strongly feel it's an issue of money. As you can say, you are not paying IPPs, you are not paying fuel suppliers and so on. A lot of utilities on the value chain.
But my question was, if Omujitum said we've gotten to that point, why shouldn't they release a timetable?
Okay. That is when it is when you get to the extreme level of doomsday that you require load shedding.
We've not gotten there.
Oh. Doomsday na hours so. Says you to me like by 2 days. Now you do about 12 hours sometimes.
8,
and my
6.
problem is the wrong times I don't do my thing. And I don't know.
Okay.
And they would down to me that. Me, that's my biggest concern.
And I draw the end.
Hey, you ready? And with fasting, do the bomb and call you crack, hobby. What did I say? Want mean that? And you have to wake up the 7 koye. And it's even worse. You get to a point. Papa no cram wow. But my point is
one of the worst experiences.
What did I say? We are in that situation, but these are the steps that have been taken to deal with the issue. But to keep demanding, load shedding, timetable run. Let's just say we are admitting that we are at the extreme case of doomsday. Oh, and that it is okay to normalize doomsday. No. I don't think that this is the time to be asking.
We've not gotten there.
And if the minister, you may disagree with his tone, but that's the painful truth. Say it is too early to be demanding our timetable, no? Because you drew here, and I hope we don't even get there.
I think when he made that point, the journalist pressed further, and that's where the journalist pressed said, "But the people are demanding," and that's where he said, "Those who are demanding, then let the people who are demanding bring." Because
what beside me question, may you are no? I've given you what the situation is, and you keep saying that some of the people are. It means they have the solution to the problem. So let them print their timetables and deal with it.
No, I think, do you remember that even saying PURS recently, I think last week also, issued that.
They've called for a publication of a timetable.
Oh, almost, I disagree with them. No. What are you asking them to publish?
No sharing timetable.
Based on what?
Based on what? Based on the challenge that they
no, anyway, and you say you do something, so I say, and then we must some with them now. I mean, there are times you can have power for 2 days, sometimes 3-4 days. And if they are going to publish a timetable, who the best saying? Say after 4 days, now be doom. No, I'm just saying is because I didn't say. I think that I've said they should be honest. I've said faulty low value shenanigans. I've said they should be honest with us. But these are the steps we are taking to deal with the issue. And I disagree with Nkrofo who are calling for load shedding or muye, if you ask me. What is here? So calling for a timetable in respect of load shedding is misplaced, is immature. And like I said, the minister could have chosen a different tone, but nonetheless, it doesn't. What shall I say? It doesn't invalidate the facts. And you're not all cano, and no creno. Say and if you said the people, which people are you demanding for a timetable?
No, are
you demanding a timetable? Are you demanding a timetable?
But I mean, PRC.
No, question.
I am not. So out of 4, 3 are not demanding. So who are the people?
We are the people.
No, this is a sample. Out of the sample, 1% out of the lot. No, we are not the people. Who are we? Who are we? No, but the point I'm trying to make is that let's not try making demands that would seek to normalize the crisis we are in. Let's rather begin to demand what steps the ministry or all other
taking
agencies
to fix the problem.
That is precisely what I think we should be doing. Let's demand, and we should be forceful about that. Say, oh, baby Ayedri, what are you doing to deal with the problem? So that corner we can continue to enjoy free flow of electricity. But you say, oh, Mumfa timetable. Let's just say, I didn't know, and the so I also share the views as a misplaced call. But I would have wished say the minister would choose a different
tone.
Sometimes obi to me be so question be 100 year. No I can say tra. Inti minister wada my no anya.
Yeah. And that Atik Mohammed Asempa FM Suni Ekosiisen dwumadi ne de Bremono. It's Ghana's biggest and the most authoritative political, social and current affairs talk show. Yeah, the munyina asase mokoswa etie yen. We say Obi okay. Also then, Obi, please, the ECG is the problem because we under Netco are not experiencing any power outages.
Hey, Tamale is new, and it's Netco that is running. No, yes, and even okay, yeah. That's the easiest way to put it. It's the simplest way to put it.
And even if you want to stretch it, so we share load centers in Ghana. Because when you have to shed load, what they do is they touch the load centers. And Accra,
Kumasi,
Takrady. I mean, when you take the 5 northern regions, the
load consumption is way low.
It might be one company in Tema.
Very well.
Let's
it could be.
Yeah. I remember say in 2015, 2016, 2017, I share the whole Volta region. Now Volta region in Alphabet 20 megawatts. 20 megawatts was like 20 megawatts was like
1, 2, 3 companies. And one other would take the
a bit more say the 5 northern regions will be stable because
but even so Tamale is stable.
Because again, Tamale is growing.
Yes.
Load no.
As at now, even as they are growing, your mom said 40
40 WN.
What they say, yeah,
the whole Tamale.
The whole, I mean,
no, like okay, no,
I Tamale. Nothing in America.
Okay.
Yeah, your mom 40 at least.
Because a hundred loads no be Boga. Tamale, some of the major
Republic of
towns,
Gambaga, of course.
But no pone ebi oha krone so. But industries are kesi ni. If there 1 bob, 2 bobs, and shut down cherry and the entry.
So Oshe
Gambaga is where the industrial,
the enclave.
Exactly.
Oshe analysis and Obi, you can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
So Ghana, no, aside from the major industries, residential, their driver demand by ACs,
fridges, water heaters, especially a more cook and gas.
Electric cookers,
and only air condition, and a fridge, especially the air data, and almost those times when you used to meet Anna.
Why you could see
we used to be like a Bobsy. Bob, we are in one quality, quality of megawatt.
Yeah.
But maybe our 5 room or 10 room or 9 room or different bomb.
No, but what I'm saying, incandescent bulbs. No, when Energy Commission embarked on a project to change all the, how much power we saved as a country? It was crazy. Just the decision to change incandescent bulbs, we saved a lot. Indeed.
Yes, now we are Mr.
And
that tells you said
it's true. Wow. Ekosiisen hi Asempa FM. Ma yente we amra ba on the
one smart in
smart in the okay to ahoy. Hey,
smart
no smart enough no person about he rather spoke about Siba meeting vice president Ekosia
and Osaka Kosia what can you remember?
Was okay. I mean, was the last.
Not tablet was the last.
But I mean, tablet.
But we introduce but one
on your friends say power situation can
very quickly. You see, Obi, for me hu say akoye enema bebre na ababishia at the same time.
Yes.
Because Oshe a lawyer team, Oshe Friday DNA see na nye ECG issue. Na ye WAPCO issue. WAPCO issue.
Yeah.
Emma WAPCO.
They issued a statement.
Yeah, they even issued a statement. Say yes.
No, sir.
Oh yes, it was very wide.
Gas supply to the Eastern Enclave.
What happened?
Maybe
I didn't read the statement.
Or say the West African Gas Pipeline Company has resumed gas delivery at its regulating and metering station at Tema after a system shutdown at about 10:30 p.m. last night. WAPCO's Tema facility completely shut down due to a system glitch.
That was yesterday.
No, Friday now, lawyer.
Yeah.
I can't go. Me share game ni bi.
Okay.
Me share game ni bi. Enti me drew fie no within me drew fie be 11 something. And here you cry no modum, which explains. Yes, I'm at the one that many
shut down to take time.
No. So the American basin say it looks like a combination of issues coming at the same time, because it is also true some of the cities areas ni bi wo ha omo experiencing lights off no more because of transformer issues almost our area for a bit to say adenta me na me wo Lakeside last year me cut na Lakeside for a year or so na enu me light, but early last year na me who say lights off no I started so time na the national challenge nya mayo na me who say no omu nya transformer issues because we should demand na ba Lakeside within a short period now any pay too bet na Lakeside now you can easily tell say transformer no was not able to contain the load. Enti me ani ntem na me too free ho because I saw say a transformer issue na be check transformer so ne boarding and say no more replace transformer no. Enti wo share areas bit to say Adenta, Lakeside, school junction Shalibotwe a nipa pu akotena ho wo share dansuma nipa wo ho a omo in addition to challenges ECG ne we munya no they have another issue of transformer so omo de na double jeopardy enti sankoye we ana akoye we enunti na ECG be can say now they are changing all the transformers in this heavy loaded areas and also air koso enti abotre na esi nyina yenya e ma aban no e na wo kwohwe na about 3 weeks ago there was also exercise and no more routine maintenance na so more I think at Twabo Gas or one of those the Ghana Gas only they had to do also routine maintenance and a be share we so akoya se niam bebre aba be share together and akofa sa how we are den aba enti ye be stre Ghana for se munya abotre because ye no ya ye bida emfiansu ni aban no atimi adom aboama ye nyina ye nyankane Kanya de yedum ni da krokra masa forget it obi me say yedum light Friday no obeka si akosa nsuo ni abehwe agum emfifire pa ana say modern homes na yesi no emfra manfa ba bia o
na what the window na open from na
say your friend is saying sliding window sliding window esho
pa
oh esho be dubu
But for some reason, when you say I'm from Accra,
who said there is general heat wave?
Yes,
the general heat wave.
General heat wave
is crazy.
Yeah.
Edu anajoa.
It's just out of
what does it say? Also normal fan in part. In the AC, and what it means is an entire for power consumption. Well, now the AC would need more power to remain cool.
Missy first made them me so AC now. Actually 10 minutes. Now chilly. Mrs. say about 2 hours now. Pretty nice. What was that? AC 1 and 9. Because heat na our system ni mo no ano enti ya be stress e ya abotre na esi nyina yenya aban ne ye hihye bia ebetim ana wa wote ha na menua ben ese be ka kire wo say a lot of the machines generators no so call for servicing meboa wa wote ha
a lot of the plants are down for servicing
almost call for servicing oh chire mu oma
Taka Tapco. So the Tapco plant, part of Sunon Asogli is down for service.
Part of it.
Yes, and the whole.
Okay.
In the
about 600 megawatts.
And
now they are
all
doing
of
just
these plants are shutting down for service at the same time.
No, say.
So that's the impression you are creating.
Yeah, but the point also these are plants owned by separate entities. Yes, if Taco and Taka air money, but I mean,
No.
total. But what is down? 300 is off.
So
about 300 is still on. Yeah, about 300 is still on. It is now okay. Kabomua. When those plants combined, how much they give?
Almost 800.
Almost 800 megawatts. Yeah.
So Mabel, are you talking about 800 megawatts of installed capacity or generational capacity?
No. So once that plant is off, that is how much you are losing.
No, I know. There are some plants that you have installed, but they are not generating.
Sure.
So I'm asking.
No, but these are plants that are viable plants.
This is lost
Lost generation.
800
sure.
megawatts.
800
Close.
megawatts, yes.
800
Yeah.
So maybe how much in total is our peak demand?
It is here. Okay,
today,
let me get
I
to
knew
the
it used to be
actuals.
1,800, but how much is it?
Let
today?
me get you the actuals. Let me get you the actuals.
My uncle would have for a become one. And
No, you see,
And the issues.
you see the point.
No, but just by way of education, in 2024, as we speak, installed capacity 5,194 megawatts. With the you look at your dependable capacity. Good.
But out of installed, the various plants,
Yes.
when they are working at full capacity,
Yes.
how much do they generate?
In the dependable capacity now, 4,756 megawatts. 4,756 megawatts.
That's dependable.
Yeah, dependable.
But generated,
yeah.
How much
projected system peak demand?
Okay.
Peak demand. 3,788 megawatts.
Peak demand.
Peak demand, which is less than 4,000.
Okay.
But the other thing they say 788. But who said in the
and dependable power is
4,756. But in the sector, no. In the sector, you need a reserve margin of 25%. And that reserve margin should always be there. It is a
they call Ivory Coast near.
no, say total
demand.
There are three things. Installed capacity,
Yes.
dependable capacity, and available capacity, which is the most important. Unfortunately, I don't have the data for available. Okay, I have it here. Into Maka installed capacity 5,194. Maka dependable capacity 4,756. Available capacity for now could be around 4,400 megawatts of the dependable
So why
capacity.
do you have them so? If you knock out the 800 crab free more, you still have excess.
No, but when you knock out 800, you have an issue.
No,
Because peak load,
available.
you have an issue during peak time.
No,
Available here 4,400 megawatts.
4,400.
Yes, and our peak load demand 3,788. When you knock off 800 from the 4,400 now, you have a shortfall.
You have about 300 also, right?
You have a shortfall. Yes.
Yeah, you have about
You have a shortfall.
Just quick.
Nothing. Two square now. Your mass is saying now.
I calculated it.
When you have broom,
No, you would have a shortfall. You have a shortfall.
The
You have a
shortfall will be less than 300.
Yeah, around 300 megawatts. They don't have answer 300 though.
4,400.
Yeah, saying.
788. Okay. All right. So 612 difference.
That's huge.
No, but never.
But
I think 600
that's
megawatts
huge.
is a lot of
I know.
It's
So you have
a
to take
lot
your
of
major
power.
cities off.
It's a lot of power.
Yes.
During peak
hours, you have to take
hours,
your-
you have to
Even
take.
off.
Peak period we have them. So what are we talking about?
Oh no, say omuka say unya shortfall. I say shortfall ni nyina ma during peaking kwa. But I just say peak ni na ye more.
And and we are using.
Well, that's
peak
where a
demand
lot of
to do
people
the
are
calculation.
home.
No, we are doing.
And that's
We are
based on
using
4
peak
PM.
demand.
Sure.
Yeah.
We are using peak demand figures to do the calculation. So
Absolutely.
if you take off peak, the difference might be less than 600.
I agree. I agree.
But I'm saying.
And that's why daytime outages might not be wide like it is during peak time.
Yes.
Jack.
There will be outages,
But-
by any wide say peak time. Nipa nifi,
But-
Every crowd who-
I agree, sir, 612. You see, my question,
Yeah,
Guillaume,
so the
said,
difference is 612.
these plants
Sure.
that are shutting down for
Sure.
maintenance,
Sure.
how is it that the ministry or the various agencies
Oman schedule maintenance leave?
Absolutely, that's what you do.
That's a conversation we can have.
That's
I think
What
it's
you say, because they can't all knock off at the same time.
Adano Ben crack Adano Ben crack can once say the scheduling no need.
What is Ben campaign manager
for SRC Legon? Really? Which year?
Benji 2007.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
Young Queen.
After this short break, we are dealing with the other issues. Ekosiisen, stay with us.
Across Africa, a new era has begun. Shifting our focus to a new horizon, connecting us with one purpose: to create and share opportunities to grow. Brighter tomorrow, built by our dreams and our energy. Across our continent, across the world, we are creating a better way to a better future. A Pan-African future, together. EcoBank, a better way, a better Africa.
In life, choice is good, but choice plus safety is way better. Your safety and comfort is paramount. Under the cylinder recirculation model, you can buy LPG in a safe environment. All cylinders are inspected and maintained to the best safety standards, so your safety is assured. Just take your empty cylinder to the nearest exchange point and swap it for a filled cylinder. Different cylinder sizes will be available to meet your pocket size. Imagine cooking in a smoke-free environment. This will improve the health and well-being of you and your family. Choose LPG in a safer model of distribution. Cylinder recirculation model. Securing your safety. Creating more jobs. A message from the National Petroleum Authority under the patronage of the Ministry of Energy.
Time aso. We need signature no dada. Afi, yani tawo se kwekwana se. Yedi abutre na etu fan. Sa prono mandia fro ko be pon. Atum Kwawisa 2024. Atum FM. Asampe FM ni Atum TV. Jamu fili gbenze Kwawisa. Aye non stop entertainment. Back to back. Uton kwane fifie sanse unton kono wada. Anichi ne shase ya wada. 28th March Walenda do. Unsu janshe. Anu ya kwa so. Sa upe bibia no mandi abra wo Kwawia. Mufalenda do. Yedi work and happiness. Any of you go so better so live. And Sunday for me pono. Easter Friday 29th no. Yeah, be 590 mobile. The Kids Soccer League 1. Pomias to Tefnas live. Yeah, Bershan Yoni Madrian and one power. Advanced cooking competition. I say. What? Don't pack on me. Oh, fear question. Don't Cassiaba to us. Don't pack one. And you made a fear damos. Saturday 30th March in Onopa. Chrono the Bunny was some perfect Kwawisa games. And I say. Oh, Pomias to Tefnas. Powered by 590 mobile. The Kid. Nanyu Mirano. Yanio possibilities. Meku stage Bambala Pansia don't pack. Yeah, but way. And we are mega street passion of Pesia Mirato episode KO7. Kasari Sojesno and the surprises baby. Powered by possibilities. Sunday 31st March. And upon winners of Kwawisa game. And the 590 Mobile Kids Soccer League. No one Japan when with champion of champions. But Basso Pomias to Telephone. And DJ Adum Kwawisa 2024. Follow your social media platforms. I would want to feel in your hashtag Adum Kwawisa. You will go Lavon's tomato mix, love the inside of Possibilities. Nubina Womankasa, 590 Mobile, the Key, DBS Industries Limited, the roofing experts, a large vision eye clinic, the eye doctor, no surgery, global lighting, your solution to quality lighting, and Kania Papa Fee, Franco Trading Enterprise, for Papa Fee, Kwawisa 2024.
Say you better obia obekwa kochina ningo pam anemo say you making sure say enya obia edu baby ayebe ye debates e wo parliament na obechina ho e can be man ningo pam no na obedwane
Simpia no so aye krado. Agopama no na da ho no. Akasabu no na si ho no. Abato afi adru ho bio.
Sedia abato afi bia. Ye yedema wo no. Wo election headquarters. Adom FM. Eni Jason Sem. Yen sesa sabo se no ema osa. Debi ye be si edwa ama anobabai akoso.
If you ama omu jina mrase bedu akonya. Ade kopo mo mpase ye to omu so aba. Won bedi mampani. Ama yokomo mpanifo ahodo. Bo se de ye beti bi papa.
Na me kacha no sika na omo wia no sabi sika na mafa ono ne cohort no ye beji sika no efi wonsem ye dey say I'm telling him
he tried to touch on the issue of integrity. Say MP wa integrity on see public facility no am say ni maame ana na ebusu ani din entoso
se o pese ye to aba de mawa e dia na waye e dia na obusu a wo ye na wani so ade hunu ene sen ye to aba no e de mawa be kan ho twaso nsem e wa do 106.3 FM the big debate
e be free abatom pesua so akọ abatom pesua so na ye ne amanyoku ahodro na wo ho ni nyina no anam sifu atena ase na ye ne wo mo di nkomo afa enioma e be wo na hawo ya wo pe anu yie sankita ho na e be koso no e be buo wo mo wo sigina ye
Toa, eya chinyeje, eya chima minchi, ebeya sheshe.
Ebe senso ma wakwanya, na wonso wabisa wasema ehia wo.
Yo, Mr. Host, medawase. Me questions ni ye mienu pe. Honorable MP. Me pese me bisa no, a very simple question.
Would you hundia? Betrem.
Wuni medma wa ya, unja ni debate.
Just sem the big debate. And na no ye na wo pani nyina no. Ye de ma wo.
Si amini team ni nyina. Ewa constituency. The big debate. Eya time.
Arriba! Ekosiisen, wom Asempa FM. Ekosiisen, wom Asempa FM. Obi nebado. Sempanabo binebano biba binebano sempanabo obinie ekosiisen nie bosua wo mene sempa de brane mamba obi
Masum Mewa Sempa 94.7 FM. In 10 more minutes, it will be 6 p.m. Area discussion segment now. Bremo sponsored by Tabia Herbal, Seahorse Engine Oil, and a Franco Trading Enterprise. And you know, many one aiding Komo a Kofi Tonto or a political aid to the Vice President and leader of the NPP. Chum Berema Esquire, a member, National Communications Team, NDC. Atik Mohammed, a executive director, Edema Mazda. We say Obi, I agree with Atik Mohammed. I live in Abokobi, and for about 2 months we've experienced about 2 or 3 outages each, lasting less than 30 minutes. Maybe we are lucky. Maxwell or Abokobi, Odia ba enono. We say Obi, I bought a freezer for my wife, and it's not yet a month, and the freezer is damaged. It has brought untold hardship on my on me and my family.
I like the qualification.
No, untold hardship. A ground in law. It's me untold hardship. Aha. Ain't yada say Ansa Herman Ode Abba Enono. Hello, good evening. Please, all of you in the studio are not being fair. When there is Dumso during Mahame's time, it is Mahama Dumso. But when it's Nanado's time, it is ECG Dumso. This is a gross dislike for the NDC. I pray Alan Chrematin wins the 2024 elections. Kofi all the way from Tamale, the northern regional capital, and on the way Aba Kofi Yedase Papa. Obi, good evening. For the NDC communicators and their like to demand a timetable for the power outages and the repairs going on baffles my imagination. The whole country was in darkness during their time and blah blah blah. Nana eja record there or Belgium and Odiwe Abrey. Obi, good evening. I agree with Atik on the definition of dumsor. Dumsor is to regulate the problem and not the cause of the problem. Kwesi inside Kaswa and on the way, but Kwesi or Kaswa Edase Papa and area. Ma Yemrani Metwaso, Executive Director of Mazda.
Obi, me that say. Over to you. Over to you. Nedi can measure as if free. I can say Vice President
GRE
Union of
okay.
GRE no. Na maybe I'm a baby na true. Or see Sabiel no dey nya dey obesan no.
Is that the topic you have?
It's part of the topics.
No, is that how the topic is framed as the whole
no,
thing?
he's deducing
LGBTQ. Me ba jo tree ka some we can say.
Oh, there twice.
No, me that say. I think sir, GRA is one of the major, if not the only major institution now. Eba yen sikasem how to raise revenue. Abayin revenue way is not all revenue that is taxed, but
yes.
non-tax revenue endorse sir. Near abayin any free the provision of services, any grants in as if endorse. And saying because of your modern bounty, you see we are lower middle income country. It also comes with some effects and implications. But when you say you don't get as much grant as you used to, and tax revenue endorse. So Ghana buying revenue na near buy and pay tax revenue. Na institutional air stress no say who touch ma idea a hygienic na over the period no we've all complained. From 2019, 2021, I mean consistently, the lowest tax to GDP ratio Ghana recorded was in 2000. I mean in recent history, it was 7.3%. But consistently, even though I say ye na ye manunko nenim kesipa, but ye we share modern bona and so and it keeps fluctuating. Ye kwe nima as a yes, Agbaja no ko winima na wasa bauchi. And idea a hard. And there are so many reasons why that is. Nedi kind there is a great deal of room for tax avoidance. The second also is there are so many nyomabia we should be taxing yen tax it. Until the tax population no isha. Crofo mutual tax no omundos. And usually it is the employees and labor in the formal sector na all other taxes mostly are consumption taxes like VAT and the rest of it. But pass a month for tax income tax, personal income tax is mostly people in the formal sector no mutia. And it's just a few, and not a few, but it's just a handful of Ghanaians in the formal sector anymore. Majority are in the informal sector. Sebi minuana or boutique or malata and obia or tom maybe whatever in our markets, no, they hardly pay income tax. What I say, and these are revenues lost to the state. And there are many reasons in taxes no and cost. But one of the other problems, personnel and the administration of tax, the personnel of tax management and the administration of tax itself. My main share is in free. Administration of tax na but personnel because it's very, very important. Administration of tax and they say tax should be easy for anybody else to calculate. So see a tax handle and a particular tax is efficient. It is because it is easy to calculate. What I say me them calculate my tax obligations. It means that the tax is efficient.
Very efficient.
But then the calculation US, for example, people can sit in their rooms and are able to calculate their own taxes and proceed to file. But Chrome adding, it's not easy for people to file their taxes. That's one. Two, the targets for revenue, tax revenue. Sometimes we set timid targets. Senebeya, we can surpass it now because yeah, boy, who more in this fiscal year? Oh, we even exceeded our targets. So you would have exceeded your target, but would the Sasikano educate 2 and GDP? Ube said the tax receipts to yen GDP no ever form cry because you set very timid and if you like very low targets. What I say, and sometimes there are some areas where I said to me set higher targets. Edema, yen set ho. Baby, I enemy say wait the bed, you know, now I set higher targets. Until at the end of the day, where you could low hanging fruits, we don't set ambitious targets. But baby, I you know, now I set higher. And also how we target and how we place yen tax targets, you know, very, very also important. As I say, one year targets ni year, you might exceed your target and things are why are they. Meanwhile, indeed, you could do way much better. And sometimes you go and set targets in areas that are difficult. Maybe Nyomana say building blocks to make sure say you get more tax revenue. No, yen share until we set the target now is a personnel number. Until I agree with the Vice President and the GRE Workers Union on both sides. On the one hand, almost see some of the targets. My opinion, some of the targets are too much. I think to say that without in context, and that's where the problem is. Because I even feel that some of their targets are very low.
Very low.
Until to say that they set higher targets, the question is in which sector? Because Uko Porter, maybe the target could be higher. But Uko are not setting low. And also it's easy to collect your tax revenue.
Yeah.
But because you are setting target to low, no, you receive as much as you ought to. About the end of the year, like I said, because target was say you exceed crowd because you are job.
Yes.
But baby wa need yeding. And our set overly ambitious target without the supporting blocks the collection. No. Now quite say omunya and workers get frustrated because they are doing their very best, but nyomana to receive the needed revenue no and new. Until the vice president ought to have situated the conversation in the context. Like I said, many workers union for the dream because sometimes they tend to set higher targets. And in some areas the targets are low. We need to have a balanced targeting regime. Senebeya, we can increase our tax effort, increase our tax to GDP ratio. Says here
that dovetails into an ineffective tax administration.
No. What is here? Absolutely. We share in 2022. Now, the tax to GDP ratio was around 17%. 2021. By 2022, Eswati. This year we are doing 13.9%.
Okay.
What must I say? It tells you, like I said, we keep oscillating. It's because we don't have effective systems in place. Until now, so we have to have a conversation about how the targeting regime of the tax administrator is going to be, so that you try to agree. I had here baby to support. When the targets are higher, they can still achieve. To achieve because it's doable.
Yeah.
But baby, when you set the targets higher, at the end of the day, they would not even still achieve. Now, Mika tax administration, about personnel. The administration of tax is as important as the personnel who administer the tax. And the collection of the GRE workers.
Okay.
And GRE workers, it starts from the top.
I take PhD.
No, man, hey. The GRE workers.
Oh, in any event, PhD work a PhD. Anyway, I have an interest in GRE.
Okay.
What is here?
Okay.
So who can PhD as people are working on stuff. So
that's true.
I
know.
Absolutely. What is here? Oh, you see, you almost distracted me.
Yeah, but GRE workers.
Yes, workers. And workers GRE has an organogram, just like in other organization. A shall say free top or now middle, foot soldier. Only say GRE crowd with foot soldier.
Sure.
Field operators. But direction comes from the top. And you need to be legitimate to be able to give directions.
Yes.
If your presence as penny of I can't say GRE is illegitimate. In the administration of tax. What you say is the Commissioner General of GRE is illegitimate.
How so?
Oti way watra retirement and he has no valid contract.
Yeah, man, contract here, man,
on there be a man here. Odu 60, no, Odu 60. The retirement age in this country is 60.
Yes.
That's all Kofi.
Yes.
But I buy no betimi contract to extend wage man. Onibi.
And no crown buy contract.
What
60 minister can say. Immediate pass for the minister. Emma Parliament.
And you automatically say 4 years and 5 years.
No,
yes, Tagano.
Was say they will give it to Obi a portfolio now Kitana. Be a replacement for you.
Yeah.
But who so on the idea Asabi. There are
1,001 replacement.
How do you know?
Oh, come on. No cry now me baho.
Okay.
Before he came to succeed Kofinti. Kofinti left on the 1st of October 2019. Odi 69 as Master Kofi. What must say?
Sitting there compulsory retirement.
Yes.
It's
contract
2 years. 2 years. And it should not be more than 5 years after 60 years.
Yet man 221.
Yes.
And I 22 whichever.
Yes.
Or even one.
Onu Yamanu Kofi. Papeya Otisu he was the head of the domestic tax revenue division.
Time Akofinti wo.
Yes, TRD.
Reverend Amishadai.
Domestic tax revenue, division.
Okay.
And a yeman eba
commissioner. Okay.
Enti eba ne say no obi die so a yemanu Kofi wu die so a wo da so ti ho. And he's there his presence there is illegitimate.
I say no one the fan ho.
No.
In the appointing authority
no udru wise masa enti civil servants. Omo time so they wait for the president to write to them say Kofi now wait retirement time is soon. Aso. And you see the governing board of GRA me di omo hu ya okese.
Who is the board chairman now?
Tony
Otinjesi.
Yeah, Otinjesi. Papa. They've had deliberations on this subject matter. And there has not been any progress. Except Papa Nukofi Sebi, Onunkwa na nyanza woni timu okroma. Oda sutio, and he's making commitments without legitimacy. Okay, on the 3rd of February, he appeared before the Public Accounts Committee.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, Bisano said what he's saying. Because for 27 months after the expiration of his term, and no, that's what at the time they were asking him, no, that 27 months aba.
After he being 60 years.
Yes, that 27 months aba come home. And that's what the governing board has not given an extended contract to entitle him to stay there. And what kind of, you see, I told the Ghana, we are supposed to be having a president who is as we were told, or Timrasia or Dimrana Yujuma.
Yes.
As you were
told. Nanka, here's an Ekachen. Says it's a legal luminary. Brofa can say. Now we're a legal juggernaut. It's a legal colossus. I'm can Muna lawyer for Muka Brofa can say. Now, Obi, the time I saw. Mrano sisi udu 60 so Kofi. Ne mum, Mrano so makwan say yebeti mi ama contract. Mumanu Kofi, mumanu contract. Nanzo he's making commitments on behalf of that entity. This is absolute lawlessness. And how can we be witnessing lawlessness and the supposed president Aoti Mrase? And then there are other commissioners. They are supposed to be home. Absolutely. Almost to how can a body that is led by illegitimacy be able to raise revenue for this country? Because nipa na oti honum onim say at any point in time you bet me yimi until or yen you to please Nkrofobi so that you can continue to stay. But the activities and the actions that are in the collective good no that are in the interest of the Commonwealth no enya dey obey you. Because oti honum say any day you bet me mamako on illegitimacy inti trukasa. And how can you expect the management of yen tax and the administration of tax, the collection of tax revenue in this country? Abra the top brass no. Nobody is valid. That is the situation I am. And yes, Mazda will be testing this case with Shiraj to see whether not one Kofi contractor. You are allowed to stay and continue to draw salary, enjoy all the benefits that come with your office, no, without any legitimacy. We'll go and test it and find out whether Sasani or Margin say Nyadia will take action on that. Why? We were invited from the very go not to be spectators, that we should be active citizens. And one of the ways of being active citizens, and he said, we demand from the relevant, authorities Nyoma to say Ekosui. And sometimes you have here. Economy and Eko Truka Enko ye. Ekonya. Every effort to make sure say things are brought back on track. No, I would have expected say they will be doing, including how our revenues are raised, including the personnel who are running the collection of our taxes. And that's why I find it funny. Say, Edru Bakosono, Yamanuko view. What is so special about Oura Mishadai? As if he's the tax brain that Ghana has never witnessed before and has never seen. Now also we should have known better. So for resuna is okofie na ya more contract is okofie.
Inti Mazda will be going to Shraj
to find out answers about that.
Very well.
Now, sir, near Asha, I am sure the vice president is fully aware, sir. Sankrofi, they have no valid contracts. I would expect, sir, in the coming days, the vice president, in addition to raising concerns about some of the overly ambitious targets, he should be speaking to the legitimacy of the very people who are supposed to be giving reasonable targeting. Because if maybe there is a correlation, say Nipano, because Nipano is not valid, and they give overly ambitious targets in some areas to create the impression, say, me boy Juma, so that people would overlook their illegitimacy, and allow them to continue to stay. But it's a sad day for this country. And when an honorable member of parliament attempted to raise the issue, some of his colleagues were trying to shoot that down. Said this is not a public interest question. What is more public interest?
Of parliament.
What is more of public interest than Nyoma Emma Yesika Sem Ekoye? Unkrofo Musha Yesika Samso. Because look, you can't fiscal policy because how you raise your revenue and how you spend it. Wouldn't be so aware than spend it. Until I boka masisi economy agency me. Until if somebody is asking a question about the legitimacy of Obia other revenue generating body na annual, you found some of his colleagues jumping and the man refused to answer. No, Kasa.
Yeah.
They were asking him, they were putting the question to him
before
Kasa.
he answered. Yeah.
Now I said, Munke be mommy. Munke, if you were legitimate, Munke. And I was sad to have heard or not to have listened to other members of parliament shoot that down as not being a public interest question. And yes, I know, and we can't continue to suffer some of these things. Ghana deserves better, and we must be demanding that, going forward.
Martin, Atik Mohammed near Tin and Kano. Atik, or time no echo. You let me listen to lawyer Chum Berema. I don't know the issues he would want to touch on.
I think that.
But Ansan and we say Obi, I listened to the Vice President address to the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. The VIP's point was that because the present tax base used by GRA is narrow or small, anytime a higher revenue target is set for the GRA workers to go out and bring in more money, they are compelled to go back to the same narrow base of already taxed populace to seek to collect more taxes and revenue from the same narrow base of taxpayers. That then places the GRA tax collectors under pressure as they are expected to do extra work to collect more money from the same base of taxpayers already existing on their books. So that's where the Vice President comment about the harassment of business owners and already existing taxpayers comes in. Big Boss Canton, thank you. Thank you so much for your thought. Paul De Suso says that Obi, greetings to you. Tell Kofi Tonto that no amount of rebranding the already failed candidate Baumia will work. Please tell Kofi to get his failed candidate to form a strategic team that should include Kofi Tonto to first rearrest the dollar that has broken jail account for the unaccounted monies Ghana lost in PDS and Japan deals, get his candidate to state his opinion on LGBTQ. Tell Kofi that come 2024 election, it will not be just as the lies and misinformation they told Ghanaians in 2016-2020. The Paul De Suso, NDC Massachusetts, US of A, and anyway, this one says that Ghanaians have been going through, I think we've dealt with this one already. Thank you. Mamintio, lawyer Chumberima.
All right, I'll start from the tail and come to Babia at Natik one. The tail I'm never starting here. What I mean by the tail is over why you not. I mean, the topics as it was lined up.
Sure.
Issues about a comment passed by
Uncle Kwesi Ahoy.
Honorable Kwesi Ahoy.
Okay.
I think, sir, Bible custom be, sir, Bonnie and Uncle Pond the cherry or sit dear would no palm can a bonnet. And then Uncle Pond the chow.
That's I think 1 John 1:9.
Thank you. Until others and mammy says one, I saw number one.
Now, Opay
now permu count one and a sadia anyway, and I'm here in Chay. So once you do that, no show remorse. Uncle Pond on phones when I saw 1 year then a chow. He made a statement which on no idea to say and Yano Quanson. What the crowd taba wanting about Pamucho and the chow panel. Sabi and come just nipa na twehia wo hope but the come Ghana for nyina sab no moti ye ani wo moti anya den ani me wasem bia metai ka me see the very time wa obeka bibi na you are asked or one kasa voluntarily wo baba retracted the wo kan ye apa ho chew no it's an indication that you concede that the wo kan no enya no kwanso no. So for him to have admitted whatever he said that is wrong, now I will just stand by the biblical principle and forgive him. Now I can say, you best say, Bibisa no so ebi maybe na daroma. Why ya papa penny preocupe. And a penna may can be say you won't football Ghana ha. It doesn't matter how you write or draft Ghana politics and its history. Won't mean you won't to me from that. You would one way or the other find their names in there, and these people, the Ahoys, are one of them. I will not just use him as a person, but I mean use Muni and group, the Kwamena, they are told, and then he Kwesi Ahoy. They are people that no matter how you coin the history of Ghana's politics, their name will definitely find its way in it. And he Sabi woman and I say woman his credence is undebatable. I mean, from minister, I knew him when he was minister for Agric. There was time he came to act as minister for energy when my boss was on leave. So I got, there was that relationship, And then later he became minister of interior, I think under President Mahama. No, he became ambassador rather before
ambassador
to the interior. So tried and tested. So I'm inform so I must say na having said that, the issue of the article made by few and I'll end it with the vice president's statement as to keeping people who have exceeded their term of office. Now so Obi.
Unim Agbesi Nuchu. Agbesi Nuchu. I say Obi on what Kwesi Ahoy said. All I can say is Matthew 12:34.
Okay.
Matthew 12:34. Okay, Matthew 12:34. I'll say,
from the abundance of the heart.
You brood of vipers, how can you speak good things when you are evil? For the mouth speaks out of that which fills the heart.
Yeah, from the abundance of the heart,
the mouth speaketh.
So it's unfortunate.
And man, that's the biblical verse now. Wow,
First John 1:9.
Thank you. And he assemblity nyina na se Bible no Yakobon wo say yen si esinton de we ho na so ni nyina ati no wo say baba kan de esinton no wo de bete enti wo ba kan ye de yen se fanche no masema no. Having said that, the article can ask in your friend is saying the age of some officials of GRA,
yes,
especially on the Commissioner General. This is your no was make sure that the appearance before the public accounts committee,
public accounts committee.
And Obi, I was shocked. See a busa with just me meeting me and every time I say my name facing. Now me make it me my 41 years. When did another day?
The Ghana for baby now and pay more age to.
When okay na age na ya to every so. And I did began. Me I dey am 41. As one heavy began. And that is my age.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't see the challenge in you saying it, especially where you know why the question was being asked. You knew why the gentleman, I think the question was posed by Honorable Sam George. You know why the question was posed to you. And the surprising part was that 2 members of parliament who were defending that matter is a private or was it
a public interest question?
Really?
A
public officer. And the time I assume by law, no, that age near compulsory retirement. There are 3 forms of retirement: premature retirement, voluntary retirement, and compulsory retirement. The compulsory they do and they already have a see once in a while, I say you be a bit of a man extension. And I see 99% of the time, don't want to be coffee. What do you know to Western? Tia what you want to be. See a tia, like I say, to me, crater be anywhere, but what Chidom say. Senakunya, what Timumu as so. So, in what capacity are you working? In what capacity are you signing documents and authorizing things? As what? And nobody seems to be concerned about this.
The danger for me is capacity goes to the root of an issue. And for that lack of capacity, actions he might undertake might be declared void.
Seriously, Obi.
Some time to come.
I was telling Kofi say, a serious matter. I said we are down on
drawing salary that is not supposed to.
He just in a way. I'm just a way. Just a simple advice. Master, so what you can say? Extension say what about Emma? Abra, walk of you. Just save yourself and go home. Obi and your
at this point, it's even too late.
Because for you to keep on being there.
No, my back date.
No, that would okay. That would be so wrong. That's even worse.
That 5 years, Obi. Send me 3 years more.
A 2-2-1.
Either 2-2-1 or 1-2-2. Or that they can even give you one and no more extension.
Sure.
I mean, a simple example. Former IGP upon one. He was that 5-1-2-1-1 was a one. Sorry, 2-2-1. No, not going entitled to the same thing. But we sound only nana. No, one year 2. 1 year 2. Another parabai. So it is not always the case of Mpobenyanina. Number 2, the very government that was through immediate past finance minister here, you may be in your kind of rata. And the parliament, I said, I to parliament to say. Say American boy, woman. Say extension. It will be once and some
penny ebejai. If I were
jai, and that will be a man, be will be a bien. I couldn't not to know. So we, if you are be yes, then you'll be in that same for them at home. You keep it for the meantime, but not in your capacity. So there will be a few and I will buy yes now. What's our name?
No, domestic tax
division now, and I'll buy automatically. If you want to buy a so be so special. So, when I put us here, it means that somebody now is holding on to that office who can also cross carpet and come to your end. So, why are you still occupying the office? Now, we are Juma, sorry, quite manopa, quite my we are quite many no some say track and say, would you pay us then? Pension pay now, year, now, said the end. What chance some doors wouldn't move, Bible said, but I didn't depend on you. To any you. Where the foot in the man, who would tear Babuano?
No, you shouldn't just end that foot.
Accountability is very. No, that one will come later. And the idea
accountability will come worse than we are even.
And it's dangerous. And then I'm missing me to say, so what was what Hono? I don't think it's a good decision to take.
There are other commissioners too.
One minute, I mean, American in general. Missing no out because on the Mr. Agri need no not the accounts committee and neighbors are not all chain. Abanasa can be answered. I watch it. It's so pathetic. But my can say, then the issue of whether or not, GR fall, you can say, workers.
Yes.
A response, we should let it be. One more response to Dr. Baumia. As to what Dr. Baumia said regarding,
targets.
What's the name?
Targets.
Yeah. So I say they are harassing, is it businesses or something? Yeah, businesses.
Yes.
And that they set on is it
unrealistic targets.
Exactly, unrealistic targets and more. The first question you will answer, Obi, who sets targets for GRA? Is it they who sets it for themselves or is being given to them?
It's an agency under the Ministry of Finance.
So targets are given to them by government.
I should think so. I don't know.
Exactly,
but I should think so.
Yeah, mostly when you're doing the
budget
and the economic government.
They will give you the target. They are buying the budget. Sorry, the target never brought. Say, if you know the cocoa environment, I know they are brought to one hour. Because we studio ha every time be a we show. That is up to you. So now what the target na man? And on nso ahwe ne nkrofo mu ni any machine ase nyina na hu say okay article benkum me ma no 1 cedi kofi at in me ma no 3 cedis twum tiatifi me ma no be 5 cedis because be a me hwe and before they would do that or him say twum can bring the 5 cedis kofi can bring the 3 article can bring the 1 or 2 asa no the man they're not also breaking it down to the unit men or women and under him or her so what I say it is what can I say. They set unrealistic targets for themselves. Sir. Who gave them that unrealistic target to come in the first place? It is you. It is you. Because you are part of the government. I target one of their mandate, you know. One needs to be a man, you want to copy scam and more mine. A man penny is an enquire and go for one and boom and tax. And a man penny made a general and go for one and boom with tax. A year GR fund acquire segment demo mine, a copy scam baby. And every now and then, for Manisika, you spend the cash and we the grants and the loans free more. A mufano free one musica on Copadia Brave. And so, I can't say one must unrealistic target more. What are you trying to say? It's young. He shouldn't try to play smart. Dr. Baumia should understand that every single thing that has happened in this government, Dr. Baumia, is part of it. If it is good, you are part. If it is bad, you're also part of it. And you know, a man in your say, I said, many people on my say is like you are in, and you also say you are out. You cannot do cherry picking here. You can't do cherry picking. Obi, what do you know to her? You must say, GRA for democracy tax collection. We say, one more, your narrow tax base. And I said, baby, I'm done. I want to be on good. And more ben na one kasa with me more direct on my bomb say one copper against one inventory one machine and why didn't net if you ever be on free you enter what directions have you given the main cash some few weeks ago or something that about me launched something with the GRA was saying that about me launches 3 tools to ensure tax compliance. That was around okay, it was even last year, the first March 2023 sorry. Okay, so every now and then you are working with the GRA. And right, I'm say, and I say, number. Me, I met the event saying, now finance minister. I mean, Anta. Yes. And I said, no, they are not all commended GRA for.
I think yesterday.
It was yesterday.
Right? Topics.
Now, okay. Yeah. Yes. So Andra, he has also met the GRA officials and the custom officials and so on and so forth, commending them for the good work that they are doing. Yes, just yesterday.
I saw a finance minister, agency under him.
No, but you see,
has come down to
above from,
but he is commanding them.
Customs.
I said GRA one more.
He met customs.
Yeah, but so customs is a division of GRA.
I know. But I'm just saying it's important you clarify.
Yeah, specifics.
Especially if you are talking about specifics.
Sure.
Or meeting customs.
Okay.
Exactly. So I mean, he was commanding them. And news headline, I mean, and I said, the Mokamada just said he was commanding GRA for. Sana was sending the boy. Yes, once again, I said, customs. So, one point is that you are commending them for doing something good. Okay? You are more commending them so one more year, maybe a separate time, that's a strain. And Anna, and Ninty Nama, he was trying to distract you.
Can't go back.
Be very careful. Anyway, so at one point we see them to be doing something good.
Okay.
Okay, we let you know. We buy no. Say, such a statement now make you know, in a way will make their work difficult at some point. Because all kinds of say they are harassing people. So bound just over here. Then you look at us. Oh, man, they will tell you. Because to them, one more dream about was who can be a mom. But you and I know very well that so much man so man now who could have young as Kenjaka. So at one point you like it. At some point you I don't know whatever political expediency you don't seem to support Adina one more year.
Okay.
But they are not doing it by their own accord. Obi. They are doing what orders has been given to them. And that orders was not set by them. It was given to them by the state, i.e. the government. Okay? Through the finance ministry. And the finance ministry represents the government in its fiscal policies. It is I don't then so are you encouraging them? You know say baby. I mean, it's a political season. It's a political period. You know, nkrofo komadi ahia I can't say bebre. Me ba betena kofi kan baby before am so akokwo share omna siba or something. Wakokwo share omna. But ni nyina mu na ye share benkum ne nifa. Obi. Our comments
careful.
What's saying?
I'm careful with the comments.
Exactly. I mean, our comments should be things that will not rather discourage or set some kind of confusion somewhere. Rather, it should be things that going forward, because Oba Bedrune, that institution I able in, and I also want to own real estate. Okay, don't know much, but other people now want you come and meet them. So I think your words should be more encouraging than to discourage them.
Lawyer me that say, my mintie Kofi na yemra yakano. I think nya wotre.
Mre after Kofi will just.
Ola trouble. Ye mompire. You know.
Na me person can make tablet, but the time at Equidia, well, my main can GR. Oh no! I'll have to. Say, we have a second topic now. Then I'll quickly push in the tablet one.
Second names one down.
Obi. Let it be stated on fact, say
yes.
Lawyer and Timia prove really the cherry picking argument and now we're making. Because when Timmy can't them say Obi will take a juman why. I only Dominic ye juman. Say ne Dominic ye be now born a baswa china we be I want or ye be nenya won't Timinka.
Obetimiaka.
I mean, what do you mean by that? Say Obi ye be now we need you no your worker. Now born a basu and ne. Na se chira nipa na anye bi oye bibi na sa antwa yi na oka se we di antwa yi o say you are cherry picking. Sabi ye makra ya wo mo no ye woda ye bo ma ba so ne eda ye tia wo. So what are you talking about? How does that amount to cherry picking? So let's put that aside. You have every right as the father of any institution to commend and to reprimand at any time given the actions of your son or your daughter. It is a fact of life. Let's not even go there. Obi, Ministry of Finance in set budget kekewu. Or take inputs from the various agencies. Ministry of Finance will not just wake up and say GRA, Fesikase bra. In fact, they sit down. They usually before Kromobeye budget. Ministry, several agencies will sit down, look at the numbers, year performance, resources be anamu here monsanka, then you bet media then they will come to a consensus, say, okay, based on all of these analysis, you free set target when you bet me aye. And sometimes when they set the target in power, they know very well say they may not be able to meet it, and but they set it. They set it. And Obi, see a set target mawa. And no nchirese kwan a obefa so e dey achieve sa target no must include a form of harassment. Does it mean that? See a set mumuti hey, ni a set target mamwa. Does it mean say mun take illegal means na mu
But what did the vice president mean by harassment?
Meba hopa.
Okay.
The Etienne say the vice president looking at the overall tax system and will say we are going to change our tax regime in this country. I want to also take argument in the free and will see a decline. And this is where he talks about the harassment. There is a company A where juma for fear 9 in fear no. Na GRA abase company A. Wo kra no adwuma waye no. The last 4 years no taxes na otua no kra no enye enough into ye pese ye ko audit for the last 10 years rather. Enti GRA betimi auditia ko nipa no records mu 10 years no aka kira say wo tax na say otua 10,000 no say otua 600,000. Obi, this is happening in this country. Busa, we a lawyer, Busa lawyers for only or more practices. No more control. Busa, opa, Obi eti kofa mo accountant e was no metna ne busa no. Sometimes GRA betimia or the two your instances are. Vice President Kasakwa. Me, I was there when the company in Akosombo came and said, say, taxes are yedia tonu so 80 million. And yes, won't ya. No.
Just 1 year.
Me ba. No, me see ya auditing about 10 years back. It's a very popular company. I mean, per se, me didn't ebetuja. Almost into entire Yeshania day. They audited them several years back, and almost 80 million cedis at one neck so.
Was it justified or not?
And I meba no say meba. The justification or otherwise no. Who is the neutral arbiter? Enti make us say nipa bebre omo nto omo bu ntia asema vice president kan what say. Enti the man say me the neutral arbiter institutions beba. GR ntimi makofiton to company make us me be audit 10 years. I said they want neutral what's it? It's happening. Obi opa bi on phone call.
We're just encouraging tax avoidance.
Wait,
if you have such a body, say.
Yeah, but let him finish. Let him finish making the point. Yeah.
Asama ini panic can say. One. There are companies GR dim rebi oba and na one yen say because of the complexity of our taxes. Who are tikra ujina ha wokan. So we need to get tax compliance, you need to simplify it as much as possible. Obi mimiti say GR ban no ka say why code way why miti code way and emra we ubuso and emra we yese ya mimiti minti ase I think me patro tie de me kanu. If you are going to raise questions, pay attention. Mimiti GR ban no be ka say wa bumra we su code way why miti as a layman minti ase.
Yeah, because the tax system
it's very complicated.
Yeah, he made that point.
Well, I mean, you as an individual.
Sure.
Yes, an individual. You are talking about small. Look, the point I was making here is that 98% of businesses in this country constitutes SMEs. It's almost suffer. Almost need professional accountants. Almost individuals. And it's a GR banwa all these codes between him. No catch and say why me tiwe enti fasika we bra and yes I chateau or shop ne danwa. What does that amount to? Because for a business to thrive, for a business to succeed, so when you assume we de adwuma, it was saying made a flat tax and a simple tax system eba. So that emrana is so complicated ye be ye free businesses omukomu. Obi Oko register company ne e wo Ghana ha. GR o register limited liability a friend LLC na. GR Rebecca Chiro say project 1 year na twa ho taxes no ene. Did you know that? Enti who register a company and never say mako register Kofitonto LLC. Me pesa me ton phones. GR Rebecca Chiro say project the first 1 year sika wo free say obenya na twa taxes no ene ya o register business
in advance.
In advance. Oh, you didn't know that?
What kind of tax should you be paying?
And I make sure I said they make you project me company.
Is it corporate income tax? What kind
they
of
make sure on the say, and I make sure. But that's the complexity I'm telling you about.
No,
that's the confusion.
What tax?
What kind of tax are they asking to pay?
Because they would probably. They will probably name the kind of tax and which law they more power.
Obi, me pacho, my main kasa. The facts are me no me no tiha. I debate what type of tax it is in
because of what you said.
No, na me try when say sadia na simple la.
The complication and the
complication. Because me educated, me kai taxes cry no more. I registered my company in 2018. Me register as LLC no. And no mo catch me fill paperwork no mo say me try a projected amount. And I'm na me
capital. That's what I know.
No.
If you go to registrar,
I'm not talking about registrar. I'm talking about GRA. I'm not talking about registrar.
Now I register company.
Now register company. Now we are require taxes.
Or tax.
Tax document. I don't want some na make. Can you register some na make? Then GRA will ask you, say, what you?
You're only going to register with them.
No. Hold on. Understand this.
So what your business are? Sometimes they require tax clearance.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm telling you, sir, ukoya will be now ukoya. Omukacho say project.
No, they were. I thought
so now
you go to register with them. You can say
and I made sure.
Clearance.
No, we got
to know if you haven't worked to pull.
Yeah.
We got
to no documents, so they will tell you, okay.
Yeah, I think it's now clear. It's not clear. But moment the argument.
And tax clearance fee in America.
Yeah.
They make sure when they say, why register a business every year? Sometimes businesses in Ibiwa or Becatcher say J or VAT, Webra, Juwebra,
it's true. SNIT, tax clearance,
and to who call GRA, and I make sure says, I mean, my bassa may be Jimmy tax clearance. Who catch me say, mean project Sika, a Jumana, me koy and menya. Na mean chia taxes no say CA.
That's strange.
Yes.
Okay.
Go.
No, allow him.
Yeah, meba.
Sebia mumu bia nya sa experience. He is speaking from experience.
I don't know our name commerce industries Nishan. There was one guy called Alaji and was sorry and ono busa question say ono ne ko register the company. Now yesi won tia taxes no before cry obenya 1 penny. So he was the one that triggered the question. And I mean my example say me I'm a living example.
Okay.
So mama 2 cases.
What kind of tax are you expected to pay?
Don't worry.
Obi.
Don't worry.
Opa BFD. Na Ghana ni bi a wa register in business or LLC. That is the problem.
I think your point is well made.
Vice President Timeki. So that's 2.
The lack of clarity.
Okay.
3. What's it?
You see lack of clarity in some
of the taxes, tax handlers.
No, it is happening because me documents no. Omo mami twa sika.
Answer.
Omo mami twa sika answer. Me wa minya 1 penny from the company. It is happening. And then 3. GRA workers conquer for businesses. They go to their shop. Is this so or not?
It is true.
Is it so? Say GRA workers got nanko for companies. Sometimes omona checking near me bane adiene. Ama GRA penny no kraba be giatum before Vice President Ibe Kasano. I remember. I think it was either your station or one of the stations and an interview. Yera Amishadai. And now Obusan said, "Oh, Mr. Obusan said, does this not constitute to harassment?" Obusan Yera Amishadai say, "Muman konko for shop money ade o mujire na konso no." And na papa no kire kire mu say they have to use different methods to gain the compliance that they want. So he even admitted, say, they send people to the shops to go and sit there. And the Vice President Akuma Wakane said, 1, we need to remove the complexity in the tax codes and simplify it so that the average person can pay their taxes and fulfill the compliance. 2, yenyi cumbersome processes in free ho. Send your bear who here say, GR Rebecca Kotna will be shop. Now we because that constitutes a form of harassment. That was the context he was speaking in. Now the issue of target. Obi. Siema GRA targeter. And now many ministry need to no more agree on targeter. There are different methods and creative ways to achieve sa target. And I already concerned say come here say me no na ye tua tax no yenya na ya na ye saye den ye buy horse abeji biye den e free yen ho. So once we are able to simplify the tax, we are able to formalize it and bring a lot of informal people on it no. They say ubetimi aye ne say ubetimi akọ other people ho na wakọji tax ni kakra ye den e free om ho. Entina earlier na me chire ma chire say wukọ the auton sebi nsuo kwan ho na se boso me kra wontua 5 cedis. Na se wunya 1 million people on the doing informal work. No be atua 5 cedis and who here say we 200 cedis be kwa akoto obi ni kofiton to konso because 55 na kabo mu a esika kese a ebeba be den ebeba beboa. So instead of putting the pressure on the GRA staff to go back to the same people to demand the same money, no. Let's expand the tax net so that they can go to other people. Utimiko other people pressure na so better than ebeti. This was the context he was speaking in. And Now approach or day ban say one. Let's start on a clean slate. Business bia one EC GRA work contention bia no. You started on a tax amnesty clean slate. January 8th, 2025. 0. Obian started on a 0 clean slate. Now, because he has started on a 0 clean slate, we have to make sure it's a problem na buy and creative. So we then implement a simple tax system plus a flat rate. And it's a me Kofiton Tony to me shop mu and I pese to me shop mu and I me dwane GR inti me nya medwuma. And I'm say menya clean slate no. Metimi aye medwuma. Metimi calculate me tax. Na metwa aban de na ma fankofo na me nso menya kakra dan say me to shop nim. We met various groupings who are telling us say me ye adwuma ni e be gina me kon so akọ back to 10 years I audit me no. Say me adwuma. Enti we say for the first time GRA be auditor you can do audit once every 5 years.
Okay.
GRA ntimi nye audit say ye gina obi konso no once every 5 years. Na se hu be hia se obeye additional auditor you must establish so. Enti ebe won neutral institutions a ye be make sure say Kofi Tonto na won temra na se no GRA nkobu mbra na nye den emfa no so. Se ne ebe ya se audit Kofi Tonto by all means there is a neutral arbiter to make sure say GRA is doing the right thing, Kofi Tonto is doing the right thing, and the government is benefiting, the person is benefiting.
Okay. I think the point is clearer
so
now.
So this is
but
not.
Where Aaron Alampine says, Obi, what Kofi Tonto is saying is true. I registered my sole proprietorship in 2020. I was asked by the GRA where I went for my VAT certificate to pay a projected amount. So what they do is when you file for your PIT, I don't know what PIT is, at the end of the year, you either add... Say again? Personal income tax. Okay.
So on your sole proprietor.
Okay. You either add or do otherwise to the earlier projected amount paid. Aaron Alampine.
You see, who could register with Jerry now?
But do you understand the point he made?
I do, but it needs further clarification.
Raise the microphone.
Who could register?
Sure.
You know, this is a platform for education. They tell you to indicate your projected you're kind of saying tax obligations. So within this period and our revenues. So within this period, this is how much, this is how much I anticipate. Then on that basis, it becomes a benchmark value. So that in future they do the audit of how much you earn over 5-year period. But our benchmark value now would be more mono. And the big idea in making their tax determinations
about your company.
What I said, so that in future, if there are under declarations, they can tell. So after 5 years, they look at your revenues and your tax obligations to see. Then they know that you were either under declaring or over declaring.
Is it international best practice?
That's what it is. It's something that is done.
Okay.
I don't know about this. No, my registered companies. I don't know about this. So you are talking about.
But in
any case, assume they are working the case. Why should I pay the money now when I've not made a penny?
Sometimes you see, you are going for tax clearance certificate. Obi. As I now now we're going to why you listening to you pay something.
But only say oil company, some of them pay their tax obligations up front. Do you know that? No, are you aware?
For oil companies?
Yes. Because you give them a projected value on the basis of which they calculate the tax obligations as you and some even pay before they even start production. What I say,
and it's because not all taxes that you pay upfront.
They don't just tax you; they ask you to give a projected value because their assumption is that you don't just register a company. So the age man.
Yeah.
So you are able to project your revenues. Until somewhere there are tax refunds. Sometimes projected value now at the end of the day, obligations now would try maybe you
and the net SS net amount.
No, they refund. What I say.
Me tia bruchira me ye adwuma because ye adwuma wi a na abanya teme tax your friend withholding tax
no and your income tax
meba oh
mama ni dey all can
withholding tax.
Yes.
na afene so a ma file na aban na decide say metwia broso ana metwia no pepepe ana mentwia ma na ndru na ye de me balance ayede ama me de ye ka kire one say small businesses e wo Ghana ha look me was several stories wa ha Guta you won't exist without business community. Stop intimidating traders. This is Guta.
No, the point we are making is our projected value now can it is normal practice okay. But this thing about having a tax arbitrage, is it that just for purpose of education?
I think for the auditing, no. When they are auditing you says it's here no because sometimes business are audited 10 years back. In this time, you can only do one edit after 5 years.
That one, the only time that thing will happen is they have come to see the
they look at variations every 5 years.
And again, now you are fulfilling certain types of obligations.
But that's what I'm
talking about. You want to set is like I just want to be educated. Is there anywhere in the world that they have tax arbiters? Me, I'm just
Obi.
No, what was saying is from best practice.
Guys, do you know what? We have to continue this conversation next week.
But why my uncle? No.
Yeah, but kind of next week. Running story.
The point the vice president is making is say, and Koma ya betna ha ye di nyina ye hu ni ti ye hu ni nan. Simplify your tax process.
Okay.
Simplify your tax process and make it easier for the Ghanaians to file and to be compliant.
Very well. Kofi, I think your point is well made. Ekosiisen in higher sempa 94.7 FM. In the background is Ken Paluta, where I said that.